Hello, I'm Persia.
And I'm Joey, and you are watching an Addictive Daughter Skype Nugget.
And today we've got a very special treat for you, a Valentine's treat, because we are going to be speaking to our good friend Selina Barker, who is the co-founder of Project Love, which is a lifestyle brand that offers women a fresh approach to love. Hey, so, Selina.
Hi.
How are ya?
I'm feeling great. I'm looking forward to the Day of Love on Saturday.
Yes, us too. So, Selina,
yes.
Today we're very excited to be talking to you again, and on a very exciting topic, which I know is a big deal for a lot of our audience. So, you're going to be sharing with us today 3 tips to transform your love life. Is that right?
That's right, yeah.
Awesome. And it's mainly aimed at the single lady.
It is, yeah.
So me, today.
This one. Right,
yeah. I am ready to receive the tips.
Great.
And this is amazing, because I know that when we met you just over a year ago, you were very much a career coach and massively sorted in that respect. But then you were, at that time, just over a year ago, you were saying to us you had been making some quite big shifts in your romantic life, and you'd been learning some quite big lessons. So we're really excited to hear what you've got for us today.
Great. Well, let me tell you my story. So I want to tell you my story today based on the last 2 Valentine's Day and coming up to this Valentine's Day on Saturday.
Okay.
So take us 2 years ago on Valentine's Day. I had just come to the end of yet another fleeting and slightly disastrous non-relationship that didn't really happen. And I'd really been struggling with my love life for, by that point, about 7 years. I'd had a really bad relationship 7 years previously, and from that point it just kept going wrong. One of my dearest friends said to me, you're getting wiser and wiser in all areas of your life, but with your love life, you're getting worse and worse. Like, this is getting really bad. And I felt like I was failing. I couldn't understand what I was doing wrong, why life was giving me these crappy people to deal with, why I was attracting in guys who were either not treating me well or just weren't that into me, who weren't emotionally available. And I kind of thought maybe maybe it just wasn't meant for me. Maybe this was my challenge in life, just to forever be single, and it just wasn't going to work out that way. And it caused me a lot of heartache and a lot of frustration. Cut to a year ago, Valentine's Day, and it was like seeing a different person. I was still single, but so happy and so relaxed when it came to my love life. I now knew that I was going to have a relationship one day, and I could feel like it probably would happen soon because I felt so ready for it. I now realised how closed I had been, how negative I'd been thinking around relationships and love and myself, and how unhealthy my relationship with myself was in that area. And I'd really been working on transforming that. And my Valentine's Day a year ago was a memorable day in the whole year because I took myself out spontaneously. I bought myself flowers. I bought myself this beautiful necklace that was like this Mexican heart, which was a commitment to myself to really be loving myself. And I took myself out, had a cup of tea, had a slice of cake, and it really was a celebration of love. It wasn't about, normally Valentine's Day was like, I'm single again. What's wrong with me? Why isn't it happening? Yeah. And this time it was like, I'm single and I've never been happier. And I didn't realize I could be this happy and fulfilled and feel that my life was so full of love while being single. And it's like, wow. So cut to this Valentine's Day, I will be spending it with my gorgeous boyfriend, who I'm totally in love with. And the little bit of news that I haven't told you guys yet, we're expecting our first child.
Oh my god! Oh my gosh! Well, I was wrong. I thought you were going to say you're engaged, but then I noticed there was no ring. Oh my god!
Selina.
We're literally learning this right here, right now. Oh my god!
I give it to you as a surprise. Now, that's not what I was planning on, and I'm not saying that's going to be the outcome for everyone that does Project Love, is you're going to get locked up within about 6 months.
Oh my god, that's amazing. Oh my god, how far gone are we?
4 months. Almost 4 months.
Oh my god!
Well, you're looking radiant, I must say. Selina,
That's amazing.
News. Oh,
really big news. So, yeah. So I thought I'd throw that as you as a little surprise and a bit of excitement and drama to today's Love Nugget. Love Nugget, I've called it now.
Yeah, that is the best nugget news ever.
Right, okay, so if you want to be happy and have a beautiful Valentine's Day on your own, if you want to find love, or if you want to get knocked up, quite frankly, follow these 3 tips. Over to you.
Okay, so first of all, and these really are at the foundation now of our Project Love programs and our workshop that we share with other women to show them how they can really transform their love lives. And the first one, and you guys do so much on this, which is why I love what you do, is you really, really have to look at your relationship with yourself and cultivate a loving and nurturing and healthy relationship with yourself. And Joey, I think you said to me once, it was because we really believe in like attracts like. If you want to have a happy and healthy relationship with someone who is happy and healthy, you have to have that kind of relationship with yourself. And you once said something like, you can never, was it? You can never attract or fill yourself up as far as, I can't remember. You won't remember the saying now.
Sounds
it doesn't
wise,
matter.
though.
Is it the water seeks its own level thing?
Yes.
There you go. Bit of water, yeah.
Water seeks its own level.
Exactly.
And for us, we say like attracts like.
Yeah.
So you really have to focus on your relationship with yourself. And a lot of the time when we work with, they say, after they've done courses with us or had coaching with us, they'll go, I knew it was important, that whole love yourself thing, but I now really get it. Yeah. And I now get it from the perspective of it really gets you ready to find a healthy relationship with someone else. But more than that, it changes your whole experience of life when you find that love within here first. Mm-hmm. So a lot of the time we're out there, we're looking for love, we're looking for people to fill us up with the love that we're not giving ourselves. Mm-hmm. So it's really first step, look at your relationship with yourself. If you find actually you're like, I don't even like spending any time on my own because I dislike myself that much, get professional help. Help someone to help heal those wounds that have caused you to have that kind of unhealthy relationship with yourself. And there's all sorts of fun and practical ways you can start really cultivating that relationship with yourself. One of them that we get people to do, and that I did on Valentine's Day a year ago, take yourself on a date. Really treat yourself, or have a date in with yourself, but do something special for you to give yourself the message, I am special to myself. I love myself. I'm deserving of love. So that would be number one.
Can I just come in there really quickly?
Yeah.
You just reminded me of a book that was actually literally was the book that started us on this journey. And I don't know if you know it. It's called Women Who Love Too Much by Robin Norwood. And it's such a brilliant book. And it talks about this whole thing and essentially about the relationship with yourself. And then when you really look into it, that's usually, you know, if you don't have a healthy relationship with yourself, that's why the relationships outside aren't working for you.
Because it's like a ripple effect. I definitely felt that back in the day, my responses to things were so different. And, you know, talking about guys being on the scene, they'd say there's certain behaviours that they might display because I wasn't connected to what was important to me and actually what I hoped for in a relationship. I allowed a lot of stuff to happen to me. Rather than being like, you know, things that now might happen that I'd be like, well, of course I'm not going to see you again. That's insane behaviour. Yeah. You know, like, there's no way I'd go on another date with you after that. And it's not a hateful thing. It's just like, I don't have time for that.
And also she's engaged, so it wouldn't be appropriate if she went on a date.
No, I'm not allowed to go on any dates anymore.
But even within relationships as well, when you've got a strong, healthy relationship with yourself, your partner might say something where you're just like, hold on, that's not acceptable. Yeah. Rather than going, I'm just going to take that and then hold on to resentment and feel hurt. Then, you know. Yeah. So I think as well, if you don't have, you might not even think you have a bad relationship with yourself, but if you don't actually give much attention and time to yourself, to nourish yourself, and you're essentially neglecting yourself, and you're kind of, you know, you're craving love, you also really make yourself vulnerable to people who prey on those kinds of women. And who go, I know how much you want love, and you'll pretty much listen to anything I tell you. Like, so you, and that also happened. Yeah. So that would be number one. Number two, and I love this one, never assume to think you know what your type is or what kind of person that you should end up with. And this was brilliant. Vicky, one of the first things, Vicky, who's my other half from Project Love, one of the first things she got me to do was write down my kind of wish list of like the kind of guy I wanted to end up with. And I had things like, he's got a beard, he is not a DJ, he is not creative, he is like, you know, he does this kind of thing, does that kind of thing. And we find this a lot. Do be picky. Be picky in terms of you want someone who's going to respect you and who really loves you and fancies the pants off you, who you fancy the pants off and who you love and who you respect, who's healthy, someone who's healthy and emotionally healthy and who's available and ready for a relationship. Be picky on that front. Do not assume to think you know what that looks like. And certainly don't have things like, he must work in the city or he mustn't work in the city. Because what's been amazing is we've been interviewing a lot of people over the past 2 years, women who are happily coupled up. And when we say to them, and this includes me, are you with the kind of guy you thought you'd end up with? They're like, no. I mean, Franz, the name of my boyfriend, he actually ticks a lot of the things that are on my absolutely not list. So he DJs and he's creative. He does have a beard, but I mean, you know, and so had it been previous to all the work I'd done on myself, I don't think I would have gone on that first date. Like full stop.
So
and the moment we went on the first date, that was it. So I gave him a chance. So really be open to being surprised at what kind of person you can actually be attracted to. So that's kind of a fun one.
That's a great. I've got my little my man shopping list, and actually what you said I really related to, because all my ex-boyfriends, in a way they all look completely different, but the one thing they all had in common was they were all like really big, strong characters, as am I. So that didn't necessarily. I'll probably end up with a really quiet like accountant.
Little mouse.
But that's also what I thought. Also not.
It was just like, but now the things that are on my list are actually, like you said, they're the inequalities. Someone who's kind, someone who's generous, someone who respects me, someone who, you know, enjoys my company and fancies me. Like all of those sort of things that are kind of non-negotiables, because if you don't have that, then, you know.
But often you don't even know that that's what you want, because when I started going out with Luke, who I'm engaged to, look at us, pregnant and bloody, sorry about this, guys. You know, Luke was so sweet, and I had a conversation with Persia, and I was like, oh, I can't do it, it's making me feel a bit ill, because he was so emotionally available, and I was like, ooh, I don't know if I like him, and Persia said to me, she was quite tough love, she said, this is what apparently you've always wanted, you haven't been getting this in any of your relationships, and now it's on a plate for you, and you're running from it, what's wrong with you? And it was only then I was like, oh my god, yeah, this is exactly what I've been saying that I wanted, but actually my response is completely the opposite.
Because it's unfamiliar.
It's totally like, unfamiliar. And I had to sort of hold on for a bit, grit my teeth, and actually get over the initial discomfort.
Yeah, like he bought her flowers and she was like, oh!
That was like literally almost the end. I was like, why are you buying me flowers? It's so keen. You know, and I look back and I'm like, God, I was such a bitch, but I wasn't quite ready. You know, I wasn't quite ready for someone who had a big heart.
But also, it's like, because, you know, when someone is that emotionally available, and you're probably still a bit protected, it's incredibly scary, because now it's what it's saying to you is you also have to open up and meet him on this emotional availability. It's like, it's terrifying. I've been like pretending I was available while being kind of completely shut off. Which is actually what my third point is, which is really learning how to turn that green light on and open up to invite love in, because what we found is that women will think they're being really available. I thought I was so available, so ready. And I did, and I can't remember what it is, but I did one of these, like, you know, these sort of free tests online. It was about how available are you in love? And I was like, well, I tell you what, a lot of the guys I've been out with have not been available. I scored 3% availability. And I was like, this is ridiculous. I'm going to do this test again. And then I scored 1%. I was like, I suddenly get it, because you think you're being strong, you're being tough. And because I'd had my heart broken so many times and kept throwing myself into these horrible situations, I was putting up more and more of a fortress while pretending to be available. I wasn't at all. And, you know, we race around, particularly if you're living in a fast-paced city like London, like I do. I'd be racing around, headphones on, thinking about my work, and like, head down. And it was like, take your headphones off, look up, start having eye contact with strangers, engage with the world around you, because you don't know when you might just be standing in a bus stop and some guy, because he sees your headphones are off, throws some, you know, funny comment, and you know, chat back, and then next minute thing you're, you know, having a drink, and then a year later you're pregnant.
Oh my God.
So it's a lot to do with body language, looking at what messages you are putting out there, and starting to actually get into the kind of vibe of someone. Well, what would it feel like when you are in love and you're feeling really loved? How would it feel like then? And you kind of get into that vibe already. And mine was always like, I wouldn't have to be so tough. I'd be softer. I'd be confident, but I'd be soft and I'd be open. So I just started to go, okay, well, you can generate that vibe now. Also focus on how much love you do have in your life. Get into that I am loved and I'm surrounded by love. I have plenty of love in my life. And it opens you up, opens your body language up, and look up at the world and smile. And it's simple things like that, but it is about recognizing that you have to turn the green light on and let people know that you're available.
It's so true, you know, because particularly I think, and a lot of the people watching this I know will live in London or another city, and we don't even think, you know, we are all so busy, like you said, and it's just that lack of connection. Because I'm actually from up north, from quite a nice little town, and I was used to talking to people that I didn't know on the bus and things like that. Yeah. Just doesn't happen in London unless you take out the earphones and you make
allow
that.
It. Yeah, you make the invitation.
Stepping forward for that, isn't it?
It's so interesting because it's my friend once said to me, and I really relate to this. It can be that thing if you've had your heart broken, which I think each of us have, and I'm sure most people watching this, we've had our heart broken at least once. Yeah. And you can get into that vibe where you're looking for the first thing that someone does to prove why they're not good enough, or why they're going to hurt you, or even if you're in a relationship with them, why they don't love you. Yeah. And you put that vibe out and you project your own fear and insecurity onto them. And also there's the idea of, like, I used to think, well, I was available in one sense, not in the right sense necessarily, but back in the day I was available. Yeah. And it got me into all sorts of hot water. And now, after having my heart really broken and doing a lot of work on myself, it can almost at times go into the other way where I can actually isolate and you know what I mean, and go, I'm a strong, empowered woman. And yeah, that's fine. But actually, a strong, empowered woman doesn't need to prove that she is that. She just is that. And she's actually open and gentle, like you said, and you know, available and softer. I really relate. That word softer is such a good one. Yeah. Because actually that like stickly, like, is really quite, like, you know, it's just quite repellent. Mm-hmm. Even to friends. It's quite scary.
And I think it comes, and it's natural. It comes from this thing being like, you know what, I don't need you anyway to be happy. I'm going to show you how I don't need anyone. You know, I can be single and happy. But actually what it means is that you're just shutting yourself off and trying to avoid any kind of hurt, or you're not actually opening up and going, I don't need you to be happy, but I really feel now ready to invite someone into my life to have a relationship with. Yeah. And I'm ready for that. I'm not desperate for it, because I used to be out there being like, I'm going to make this happen, and, like, you know, going after things and guys, and that's like equally terrifying. Well, everyone is terrifying and not the right way to do it. But you've got to be open and be vulnerable enough to say, I'm ready for a relationship. I don't need you to make me happy, but that is what I'm looking for. So it's kind of, you are opening up, but also still protecting your boundaries. I could go on and on talking about this. I really could.
We really could. That's so much food for thought here. Can you just recap really briefly on the 3 points so that we can all be really clear on them?
Yeah, so number 1, your relationship with yourself. That is the most important thing. Get that really healthy, loving relationship with yourself. Yeah. Number 2, never assume to think you know what your type is or what kind of person you should be looking for that you'll end up with, because open up to being surprised at what you're attracted to and who's attracted to you. And number 3, open up, invite love in, soften, and turn on your green light. Look at your body language, look up at the world, smile at strangers, and actually allow it to be seen that you are available to just have a chat with someone to start with and just see.
Love it. Well, you've already given us an idea for a really good to-do of the day for people watching. So you were talking about, it's obviously Valentine's week, and you were talking about taking yourself on a date in the first point. So can you set a little challenge for the people watching?
Yeah, so my challenge for you, and this is for couples as well, but particularly if you're single, is take yourself out on a date. It doesn't have to be on Valentine's Day, but I did it on Valentine's Day last year and had the best day, all on my own. And it didn't feel like because I was resigned to it. It's because, like, no, I want to take myself out for a treat. But take yourself out, treat yourself to something. And it could be as simple as taking yourself to your favourite coffee shop and getting yourself like a real treat, like a slice of cake, which is what I did. Or you could take yourself to the cinema, or you could take yourself for a really lovely walk in the park, something that you would only normally do with a loved one, with your best friend, or that you would imagine you'd love to do with a partner one day. Do it with yourself and show yourself, actually, I can be that loving person to myself, and I enjoy my own company, or at least I'm going to start to be in my own company and start mending that relationship. So take yourself out on a date, just you, yourself, and you.
Amazing.
Beautiful.
Great.
And let us know in the comments
yeah.
below where and when you're going to do that. Otherwise, it won't happen. You have to actually put it in the diary. And tell us, inspire us to think of ways that we can do that as well.
Indeed.
Places to go.
Selina, thank you so much. Where can we find more about Project Love?
Projectlove.com, and you'll find lots of podcasts and our blog posts, and also we are starting our first workshop is on the 17th of February in East London, so you can find out all about that on there as well. So yeah, come and learn how you can transform your love life with us.
Awesome. Thank you so much for sharing your tips today, and my God, congratulations.
Thank you.
What big news. So cool. Thank you so much. Selina, we will speak to you soon.
Lots of love.
Big
Bye.
love.
Bye.
If you'd like a life nugget and a weekly dose of happiness and motivation straight to your inbox, sign up at addictive-daughter.com and join us and thousands of others in getting addicted to the good stuff today.